Well, thanks for staying with us. First, it's time for Media Watch, for which I'm joined by Olivia Salazar-Winsberg. Hi, Olivia.
Hi.
So I understand that it looks like halal meat is back on the menu for French President Sarkozy.
Yeah, okay. So this comes after Claude Guéant last night stirred up a lot of controversy, talking about the threat of halal meat on the menu in school canteens for children. Now, Nicolas Sarkozy is expected to talk about this issue again in an interview on France 2, the public TV channel. If we just take a look here, all the political pundits in the French media at the moment, there we've got the Nouvel Observateur, the magazine, they think he's going to make this issue the main focus of the programme tonight. Apparently, for Sarkozy, halal meat is one of the major concerns of French voters, which might seem strange beyond education, unemployment, retirement, all of these things. This idea is meant to have come from a poll commissioned by the magazine Paris Match, where they asked voters what they were worried about. Now, normally Sarkozy wouldn't go in for polls and wouldn't really tackle the issue, but this time he's really going for it, which is strange because he's been asked about halal meat in the past, and his response was quite dismissive. When he was asked about the distribution of halal meat in Paris, for example, he said it's really not that important. What's the main issue is to maintain jobs. But he came back on that just yesterday when he said that halal meat, or the question around halal meat, had to be tackled. So let's hear from him.
A poll done 10 days ago said that the primary concern, the major issue for debate among French people, is this question of halal meat. Now, we shouldn't let he who shouts the loudest be the only one to have his say on this. For those who work with livestock in butchery, in the major markets and suppliers, what do we want to do? Take their jobs away from them? Then consumer confidence?
So it looks like, you can see there the two different responses from Sarkozy on the halal meat question. It looks like the Paris Match poll actually is not quite as clear-cut as that. The UMP may have got their figures wrong, or they might have got the wrong end of the stick on this poll. This article from Le Monde here says that he might have made a bit of a slip up. He might be in the wrong here because the Paris Match poll was actually a choice of 13 different subjects that French people were talking about in general, including Jean Dujardin winning an Oscar, the sinking of the Costa Concordia, and of course unemployment, which is foremost in people's minds. So this might not be the best tactic for the UMP to be taking. Leftist paper Rue 89, they came up with a pretty funny cartoon about this, which I think we can take a look at, saying that the whole debate's gone much further than the butchers and is now going into every section of French life. There we can see we've got petrol, halal petrol, we've got halal, the bouclier fiscal, which is, tax credits.
Yeah, it's like halal hysteria.
Exactly.
Well, so this all comes after Claude Guéant talked about the possibility of halal food in schools if foreigners were given the vote. Has Sarkozy got all of the UMP on side with this issue?
Well, he has got some support. Prime Minister François Fillon, when questioned on the issue, came back and said that faith groups should rethink what are fundamentally ancestral practices when it came to slaughtering animals. And there, of course, he's referring to Jewish kosher food and Islamic halal meat, which then managed to upset two faith groups, not just one. That, of course, caused headlines, saying that this causing huge problems within the UMP. This is the National Secretary, Salima Sa, who then criticised Prime Minister François Fillon for saying this, saying that, it's very prejudiced, it's not correct at all, which is all very disastrous for the party in campaign season, because now we're seeing tensions. We've got two articles here saying huge tensions, rifts within the party. They're not on the same page. They're fragmented on these big issues.
Now, staying with presidential campaigns, now they're looking at their deathbeds.
Yeah, okay. This campaign was launched today on the internet by a group called the Association for the Right to Die with Dignity. And it's quite shocking, actually. They've mocked up these pictures quite well. They're trying to get presidential candidates to address the issue of euthanasia in quite a dramatic way, showing them on their deathbed and perhaps facing a life death.
That's pretty macabre.
Yeah, it's nasty, but well done, I thought. And asking them in the slogan, do we have to put you in this position to get you to change yours on euthanasia? Now, it's something that French politicians don't normally talk about because it's a very sensitive, divisive subject. And even though about 50% of French people are in favour of having the right to choose to terminate your own life, it's not on the campaign agenda, and that's what this association is trying to do. Push it onto the campaign agenda and get more publicity for what they think is a very important issue in French society, or in a society that's meant to be secular but has, of course, Catholic roots.
Oh, just very quickly, has there been any response from the UMP at all over this?
They haven't responded to this at all. It was launched today.
Brilliant. Well, thanks very much, Olivier Salazar-Winsper there, keeping an eye on what's making headlines here in France. Well, do stay with us, because now it's time to take a look at what's making waves in cyberspace. It's time for Web News.